Hello all MRBers and welcome to another wrestling related video with me, Mike McRock, and I am one half of the MRB Wrestling Review Show. If you haven't been here before on this YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button down below this video, hit that bell to get notifications. Also, chime in down below. I want to hear your thoughts about NXT TakeOver Chicago. So what did I think about this show? The old NXT is back. I love this show. To me, the last few takeovers really bugged me because, yeah, there were good shows, but they were all very standard. You know, you get that first solid match, you get that second match that's filler. Third match is usually the tag team title match. The semi-main event is usually the women's championship match, and the main event is the NXT Championship match. Here they didn't do any of that. None of that. And this felt really nice and refreshing to see something different at a TakeOver special. What a good change of pace. And I mean a really good change of pace for this show. I can't praise the show enough for doing just that. Not only was this a good change of pace, but this show actually took some risks that I did not think Triple H would do for his baby, that is NXT, and for a TakeOver special like this. I did not think that. And I'm about to talk about it, so let's get this going. The first match on the card, it was Roderick Strong versus Eric Young. This is a match that really had only a little bit of a build-up, if that. So I was like, okay, I'm not really excited to see this match, but I'll give this a watch. And after watching this match, I felt like that I think a few minutes probably would have been cut short. I feel like that this match was a little bit too long. If this was trimmed down maybe 3 or 4 minutes, I would have been perfectly fine. This was an okay opener. You know, you ease the fans into the show. Roderick Strong goes over Eric Young, which I think should have been the other way around. To me, when I look at Roderick Strong, I only see a guy wrestling. I don't see much to him. I feel like that there's something missing. However, with that said, what I liked about the past couple of episodes of NXT is that we got to see who was Roderick Strong in these biography kind of like videos. You know, they've done that with Finn Balor a while ago, and they've done it here with Roderick Strong leading up to this match. I like that, but I still feels like Roderick Strong needs a gimmick to hook me in. The guy doesn't hook me in. However, Eric Young does. And I don't know if I actually made my comments about Sanity yet, but I will talk about Sanity right here. I love their debut. I think Sanity's debut on NXT was the best debut out of anything NXT has done over the past couple of years now. And Eric Young, I think, finally found his niche, being a leader of a group that is chaotic. He got his character down. I like the addition of Nikki Cross. And Eric Young is actually doing something that feels very natural to him. I think the winner of this match should have been Eric Young because I feel more charisma and a likability about him. Even though he does oversell, he's cartoonish, but I like Eric Young. I really do. I always like the guy. And Roderick Strong going over, I was like, I think if they wanted to have Roderick Strong win this match, I would have had maybe drawn this out maybe a couple of months or so to really hit it home, to make you feel that Roderick Strong got this win and got a good, clean finish over Eric Young. I feel like that this match was a little unsatisfactory. But overall, the opener was alright. It was fine. It sort of did what it needed to do. I like Roderick Strong's strategy of taking out Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane before the match coming up from the crowd. I thought that was a smart decision on his part, but I think the match was just fine. But that's what it needed to do. It just needed to ease the fans into the show. The second match on the card was Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate defending the United Kingdom Championship against the challenger Pete Dunne. This is a match heading into it. I was actually looking forward to it. I like that NXT is finally giving us a European style of wrestling back. We're getting this back, and I like it. I think this is a match of the year candidate. It really is. Was this the best match on the show? I think when it comes to the in-ring work, yeah, absolutely. But to me, what makes a match work is the climax and the story being told and the build-up to the match. When you hit that certain point, it feels good. And I was a little worried that as this match was going along, I was like, oh no, are they going to end this match early? And they just kept going, they kept going, and they kept going. This match was roughly about like 15 minutes long, and I'm like, wow, they're actually putting in a good amount of time in this match. And when the match ended, I was like, that felt good. That felt like a really good payoff. The stuff they were doing in the ring, I like. This felt like a brutal, bone-bending, grappling style of European wrestling, which really suits this type of match. I feel like that they didn't do too many dives or anything like that. They didn't overdo the flips and the kicks. None of that stuff. This was a pure ground and pound kind of match, and I enjoyed it. This was the in-ring work match of the night. And I feel like that Pete Dunne winning this match, I agree. The right person went over here. And going back to the United Kingdom tournament, you had Tyler Bate win the championship there. You have Pete Dunne win here at TakeOver Chicago. I think the rematch will be maybe just as good as this match. I like to see how they're going to follow up with this. And just these two guys individuals. I mean, Tyler Bate is only 20 years old, and already he has a bit of charm about him. He has a certain type of charisma about him. But I feel like that Pete Dunne, to me, has a bit more charisma than Tyler Bate does. That's why I feel he was the right person to win. And there you have it. The funny thing is that after this match, I'm like, wow, the rest of the card has to follow this. And putting the Women's Championship match third instead of the semi-main event probably was a smart thing to do, because you don't want the ladder match to go next, or the NXT Championship match to go next, because how in the world would you top that? So I feel like that putting the Women's Championship match is kind of like, the filler type of match to ease it down a bit. And this match between Asuka, Ruby Riot, and Nikki Cross was alright. I like that it did feel like a triple threat match. There was, hardly any 2-on-1s where two people team up to fight one. No, this actually felt like everyone did not like each other. Asuka doesn't like Ruby. Asuka doesn't like Nikki. I like that this match has a couple of layers to it. You have Asuka's reign as champion, winning at all costs, that streak. You have that story going, and you also have a little thing with Ruby Riot and Nikki Cross. So this triple threat match adds an extra layer to it. This match was fine. It did what it needed to do. It was about, I think, 12 minutes long. And Asuka winning this match, I agree. At first, I was thinking, if Nikki Cross would have won this match, maybe pinning Ruby Riot, then you're up to the races with that feud. But I agree with Asuka retaining the championship because of Ember Moon. It sucks that Ember Moon is out with an injury. That was really bad timing. And I think she's out for 6 months or something like that, and that's just really bad timing. That's really bad timing. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to play on that injury a bit more, trying to build up to another match between Asuka and Ember Moon. I like Ember Moon. I like that stick she has going. I think she can improve on the mic, but Asuka retaining the championship here, that was the right thing to do. I hope they're off to the races with Asuka and Ember Moon going forward. Then we get to what I thought was going to be the ladder match next, but nope, we're getting the NXT Championship match with Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami. Here's what I think why this match was semi-main event. I think one of the reasons is because of Hideo Itami's injury. He was out a couple of times. I don't know if Triple H was worried or not, if Hideo Itami was able to carry a main event quality type of match where you have maybe Hideo Itami, get his shine in a main event slot. I think Triple H was worried on the count of that. But when you really look back on the show, if you had that same result with the ladder match and then that thing at the end, why would Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami follow the ladder match? It would suck. It just wouldn't have that feeling that, oh, now we got something to talk about. No. I think they were right in putting Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami in the semi-main event here. As far as this match goes, it did what it needed to do. Bobby Roode retaining the championship was the best thing about this match. Hideo Itami, to me, doesn't feel like a guy who should be competing for the NXT Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura, I think, has a lot more charisma to him than Hideo Itami. Now, he's off SmackDown. I don't know. Where does Hideo Itami go from here? I hope this was just a way of Hideo Itami just testing the waters, just to see if he can hang with Bobby Roode. This was not his night. It really wasn't, but I think Bobby Roode was retaining the championship was the right thing to do. Here's the thing, this feud was not really all that impressive to me, but what made this feud shine was because of Bobby Roode. When I see Bobby Roode embroiled in a feud, whether it's a good feud or a bad feud, he always makes that feud worth the watch. He makes it worth something. He elevates everything that he does based off his promos, based off his in-ring ability, the way he sells in the ring. Everything about Bobby Roode is amazing. Why is he not on SmackDown or Raw? I have no freaking clue, but Bobby Roode is really legitimizing that NXT Championship right now, whereas Shinsuke Nakamura, I think the title elevated him, but Bobby Roode is really elevating that championship. And that's pretty much my thoughts about the semi-main event. It was an okay match. It did what it needed to do. Right guy went over. Now we get to the main event of the show. That was the Authors of Pain versus DIY in a ladder match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Here's what I'll say about this. I like that they raised the stakes. I like that this wasn't a normal rematch for a championships. I like that the stipulation makes it feel like maybe Authors of Pain could lose, but I really didn't see them lose here. I really didn't. I feel like they deserve a good long run with the tag team titles. And let me tell you something. This match, the way it ended, and the follow-up after the match, whoa. Holy crap, this was good. And I mean a really good main event. Here's the thing, the build-up to this match felt like it was maybe a semi-main event build-up at best. It didn't feel like a main event worthy match. But man, they delivered. They delivered. Now, was this the greatest ladder match in the history of the WWE? No. But it wasn't a bad match. Here's what I think. This was redemption from the last main event ladder match that NXT TakeOver had. It was Bo Dallas versus Neville. I think it was like one of the first TakeOver or one of the first big 2-hour specials. And I was very disappointed with that ladder match. I was very disappointed. There were no risks taken. There was just nothing to that match. But this match here with Authors of Pain and DIY, in terms of the in-ring work and what they done with the ladders and stuff, this was redemption from that first match, that first ladder match. And let me tell you something, I like the spots in this. I like that spot where Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are on top of the ladder. Outside the ring, Akam and Razar are horizontal on top of ladders, and they both dive. One of the ladders breaks, one doesn't, but I like that spot. I also like that spot where I think Tommaso Ciampa had one of them. I'm not sure which one it was, but he German suplexed one of the Authors of Pain off the ladder and down to another ladder in the corner, and it broke in half. And here I was thinking, what if JR called this and said, by God, the ladder's broken in half? That would have been hilarious. Just to hear that moment. But I like how the announcers really sold that spot, and I like how they sold this match as well. Oh, and there's another spot where Akam and Razar were holding up Tommaso Ciampa with the ladder. They're about to hit him with the ladder. He's on his knees, but Johnny saves his friend, and he takes the bullet. And to me, that just goes to show their friendship with Tommaso and Johnny wrestling. Their friendship, to me, feels really good. And here's the thing about DIY. I like them. I do. Not because they're good in-ring performers, but because of their friendship, their bond. To me, that is their hook when it comes to their tag team. And when I saw what happened at the end, when Authors of Pain won the match, I was like, that was interesting. I think the right team went over. I feel that Authors of Pain, like I said, should have a lengthy run. But what happened after the match really sent it home. And it was one of those moments where people will talk about after they left the arena. What happened? Well, you had Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa there on the ramp. The logo comes up. I'm like, okay, the show's going to end. Nothing really happened. It was like, oh, good send-off. That was a good write-off for DIY. But then Tommaso Ciampa turns on Johnny Gargano, and I'm like, you mother... Yes! He needed this. He absolutely... Ow. My leg. He absolutely needed this heel turn. I loved it. I really did. And I love when the camera pans on people's reactions. I saw one guy actually laughing. I thought that was hilarious. But what a good heel turn. I wonder how they're going to follow this up. I wonder what Tommaso Ciampa's explanation is going to be after he turned on Johnny wrestling. But damn, the way they executed this heel turn was brilliant. It was the perfect time to do it. As soon as you think the show was over, he turns on him, and he was about to do a move on the announce table. And I thought he was going to go through the announce table, and instead he goes on to a couple of tables underneath that. And I was like, holy crap. They did it. They actually split up DIY. And I like that they holded it off too, because there was a little bit of a tease when you go back and watch the Cruiserweight Classic, that tournament, where Tommaso and Johnny faced off with each other. You know, they kind of hinted at, what if these two went one-on-one in a legitimate feud? Like, what if that happened? And they kind of kept it quiet. They holded it off. And at the right time, they just made your heart break. They really did. And I love the reaction from the fans after that heel turn. They were chanting, fuck you, Ciampa. And asshole, asshole. What a good heel heat for Tommaso Ciampa. What a good heel heat. I feel like that the Sicilian psycho killer is born on this show. He needed this heel turn because when I was watching DIY as a team, I feel like these are two individuals and not a team. I saw just two guys wrestle, but damn, what a good heel turn. What a fantastic heel turn, actually. But to me, what makes a good heel turn is the follow-up. We'll see how that goes. I think that Tommaso and Johnny are going to carry a good feud heading into the next takeover. Here's what I think. The whole build-up to this takeover event, to me, it wasn't all that good. I felt like that the go-home show was pretty much a filler show. A lot of it was filler with very little build-up. The week before that was a little better, but it's the go-home show that, you know, you go home with it. And they never really done anything much with it. And I was like, I don't know if this takeover show is going to be any good. But this takeover show exceeded my expectations. I love the overall flow of the show. I like how the show felt different from the rest of the previous takeover specials. And I gotta give the show a 4.5 out of 5. I love this show. I think the old NXT is back. And I'm going to start watching NXT on a weekly basis again. This gave NXT life when it needed it. And if you saw NXT TakeOver Chicago, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave those comments right here in the comment section below. And you can also hit that subscribe button down below this video as well to become an MRBer on this wrestling review show.